two. The third factor that leads to tawfiq is sincerity. When you give something in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, not expecting anything from your society, Allah gives you tawfiq. One of the great maraja' truly had tawfiq from Allah in terms of the number of books he had authored, the knowledge, the guidance that he had spread. Now he was living in a tyrannical government. He had written a lot of books, but these books were handwritten. He didn't have the money to publish them. Some he had published, some he did not publish. He kept them in his house. So one day the troops from the government, they storm into his house and they confiscate his notebooks, his books. So many of the books that he had handwritten, there was no other copy, no copy machine, nothing that had stored it for him. They took the original copies, they confiscated them. 20 years later, another fellow, it wasn't a scholar, a speaker, a sheikh comes to visit him. Listen to this. This is really moving. He tells him, Maulana, I have come here to ask you to forgive me. I've committed a grave sin. He told him, what's the sin that you committed? He said, remember years ago when some government troops stormed into your house and they confiscated your books? He said, yeah, why? He's like, well, later I had access to the archives when things changed in that government. I had access to the archives. I found these books. I looked at one of those books. I was inspired. Beautiful book. So I published it in my name. I'm asking you to forgive me. What would you do? You spend endless hours, nights, days authoring a book. Someone comes and publishes it in his name. What would you do? He says he lowered his head, and then he had a bell he'd ring when he wanted the servant to bring something. He had a person who worked there in his office. He said he rang the bell. The servant came. He told him, go into this room, into this closet, bring me that book. The sheikh says, I don't know what he wanted to do. You know, is he going to now attack me? Is he going to write a book against me? What is he going to do? He says that servant went and he brought the book. It was also a handwritten copy. He told me, Sheikh, that volume which you published was volume 1. Volume 2 is still with me. Here, take it, go and publish it. It's not important if my name is on the book or your name is on the book. What's important is that the teachings of Ahlul Bayt in this book are being given to the people. My name or your name. Can we reach that state? That level of sincerity makes tawfiq a reality in your life. This book, Mafatih al-Janan, which is called the sister of the Quran in our house, right? In our homes. You won't find a shelf in which there's the Quran except there's Mafatih. You know how many scholars have authored books of dua in our history? Hundreds. What's special about this book? The sincerity of Al-Muhaddith Al-Qummi. His sincerity was amazing, such that when he wrote one of the beautiful books about the Akhirah, Manazil al-Akhirah, his father was impressed by this book. So one day he told his son, Sheikh Abbas Al-Qummi, he told him, look at this book, how beautiful it is. Why don't you write a book like it? His own father didn't know his son wrote that book. That's sincerity. When you develop that sincerity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes everything happen for you. This is the third factor. The fourth factor, my dear brothers and sisters, and we conclude with this factor: having a solid, special relationship with the Ahlul Bayt. That gives you tawfiq in your life, in dunya and on the Day of Judgment.